Mm, it didn't go live. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it did go live. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Welcome to the Mrs. Irrelevant Daily Draft Podcast, sponsored by the Draft Professors. I am joined today by Draft Professor EJ Holt. EJ, it's been what feels like 3 weeks because we missed Christmas, we missed New Year's. Happy
Mhm.
2026. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy 2026. Happy New Year's and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm doing well. Feel good. Ringing the new year. Have fun with my family and all of that good stuff. But mainly New Year's for me means college football, bowl season, championship season. So I got Miami and Ole Miss playing in the background and watching Miami look like the better team right now. But yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah, so I've predicted Miami to win. We had a preview show that we did earlier today. So I'm looking at Miami and Indiana for the finals. Um, and we're going to be talking about they're both running backs for Miami and Indiana in the draft.
Yep.
Um, Today we're going to talk about the senior and the Shrine Bowl running backs. Um,
Hmm.
why don't I go through and just read them off? So let's do the Shrine Bowl first. The Shrine Bowl running backs are Trayanum from Toledo, Demond Claiborne from Wake Forest, Roman Hemby from Indiana, Kentrell Bullock from South Alabama, Robert Henry from UTSA, CJ Donaldson Jr. from Ohio State, and then running back wide receiver Eli Heidenreich from Navy. The Senior Bowl running backs, Jam Miller from Alabama, Nick Singleton from Penn State, Katron Allen from Penn State, Le'Veon Moss from Texas A&M, Jonah Coleman from Washington, Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas, Rasul Faison from South Carolina, Jamari Taylor from Virginia, Seth McGowan from Kentucky, Adam Randall from Clemson. Um, so let's start with the Shrine. It's a shorter list, so I'm assuming the
Hmm.
Shrine will be adding some running backs shortly. But did any of the running backs at the Shrine, because I think we only really podcasted on three, four. We podcasted on four of the seven running backs on that roster. Um, what's
Yeah.
your overall feel for the running backs at the Shrine game?
They got a lot of. I'm a fan of Demond Claiborne. I like the way. I like his explosiveness. I like his shiftiness. I like his change of direction. He's a little bit undersized. I think to sum up this entire position that on the Shrine Bowl roster, you got a lot of role playing running backs. You got a lot of guys that's going to fit into a rotation. They may not be like your top of the rotation 20 carry a game type of guys, but they're going to mix in the 10, 5 to 10 carries per game. Some of them, like Demond Claiborne, especially maybe even Robert Henry, can play in the kick returner role. But you got guys like Chip Trainum. They're not exact CJ Donaldson. They're not exactly the most athletic, not is exactly the most bursty type of guys, but they have solid vision. They can get north and south. They have a little bit of power to their game. They can give you a power element, a sustaining running back element to a team, to a running back room. Maybe not as the starter, but maybe as a rotational guy. So that's what I see a lot of, and with these Shrine Bowl running backs.
So with the Shrine, based upon the scouting reports and what I've heard other people saying as well as you, I think Robert Henry Jr. from UTSA would be the player that is drafted the earliest. I think you like Claiborne maybe a little bit better.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Um,
would say. I mean, maybe even Roman Hemby, because like there's a clear defined role for him as like a more of a third down type of running back. So it may be Roman Hemby, but I look at these guys all in that same draft area. I'm thinking like a third round or later. Um, but mainly like Robert Henry, Roman Hemby, Demond Claiborne, those three guys. I think they're one of those three will be the first of that group to come off the board.
Yeah, and out of the Shrine Bowl running backs, Roman Hemby is the one that I'm most likely to put on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I remembered when you covered him, what I heard you say among other people that have covered the running backs is Roman Hemby can play all three downs. He can
Yep.
he can pass protect, he can catch as well as run the rock.
Hmm.
So that's a player that if he ever needed to carry a load, he probably could, but he does have a little bit of injury history. So I don't know that his career will be long, but when he gets his opportunity, he should be up to the task.
Yeah, I think he should be ready. Given an injury history, you may not want to load him up with a whole bunch of carries. You don't want him taking a whole lot of punishment because you don't know whether he can take it or not. But if he needs to fill in for a starter for a game or two, I have no problem at all with him filling in for a starter. And if he proves that he can handle the workload, then give him all the carries he wants to. Because once he gets to an NFL strength and conditioning program, they may build him up. You build up some weight, build up some muscle, build up some durability. He may be able to carry that heavy workload. But for right now, you probably start him off a little bit easy, give him some touches here and there as maybe a change of pace back, third down running back or something like that. I think I see that's how he starts off in the league.
Okay. And then we didn't do scouting reports on Eli Heidenreich from Navy, who plays running back and wide receiver.
Mhm.
What were your overall thoughts on Eli Heidenreich?
Yeah, he's a guy I haven't even gotten to yet. I haven't. I mean, honestly, I'm not watching Navy is not really high on my list, but he's a guy that I'll get to. He's a guy that I'll get to. But when I first saw that in the on the shrine, I'm like, who is this guy? Wide receiver / running back. He's seen and Navy that's what they do. They run the football. So and he's the guy that I'm gonna get to.
Okay.
I'll give him a good look, but honestly, I said Navy can wait.
Okay. And we're going to spend way more time on the Senior Bowl running backs. There were several players here for the Senior Bowl where we didn't cover them with scouting reports. So we didn't
Mhm.
podcast on them. And you told me pre show that you had some surprises here. So, which players for the Senior Bowl stood out to you when you had a chance to take a look at them?
One that stood out the most is Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas. He's about over 6 foot, about 220 pounds. With that type of size, he's got the size of a power back, but he has the movements of a much smaller guy. I like the way he can change direction. I like his balance, and he still has that power element to his game where he can run through some arm tackles. He has, I would say he has solid enough speed for he can get the chunk play like 15 or 20 yards or more. He can get those type of runs. I think he has the foot. I like his footwork too. When he's not just dancing behind the line of scrimmage, he's more so he is reacting to what's in front of him, and like what he does is like not it's not a lot of false steps. He's very efficient with his movement. That allows him to play in the gap scheme. That allows him to play in zone schemes as well. But he's a guy um, I was really impressed by him.
And
Did we
how
get a
high
Navy
did
fan?
you end up grading him? Did he get a day two grade from you?
He got about late day 2, early day 3. A lot of these running backs, I think they're going to go in the late day 3 to round 5 range. But
Okay.
yeah.
Any other running backs at the Senior Bowl that jumped out? Because again, there's still a couple of others that we didn't necessarily podcast on. So like Seth McGowan of Kentucky or Adam Randall of Clemson.
Yeah,
Did
I
they
looked at him.
make the draftable grade list at running back for you, or they're lower?
They did. They did. Seth McGowan did. Adam Randall, I think he's going to be a later round draft pick, but I think somebody will draft him. Seth McGowan is an interesting story. He's a kid. He was a 4-star coming out of high school in He went to Oklahoma. He was a 4-star prospect. He has some talent, but he got into some trouble with the law. He actually, I think him and like 2 other friends pled guilty to larceny charge. So he actually did 3 months in prison. And so from there on, he's been trying to work his way back up the college ranks. I think he started at like community college or smaller schools and worked his way back up to Kentucky this year. And like what you're seeing is like the talent is still there. What you see with him is you see he has he's more quicker than fast. He's at decent size. I think they listed him at like 5'11", 211, something like that. But he's quicker than fast. He has short area quickness to where he can put his foot in the ground. He can make a guy miss, and he navigates small spaces quite well. I watched him against Florida, and they ran some inside zone against him, and there were some free rushers that got in his face, but he was able to sidestep them and get some yardage. And it wasn't nothing special, but it was like he turned a 2-yard loss into a 2-yard gain. That's the type of running back that can create things on his own. So I like the way he runs. I think he's definitely a draftable prospect. He is. He actually. I watched him against South Carolina too as well. He actually had a nice little wheel route, so he's an option in the passing game as well. He has a nice little wheel route. Quarterback was late on it, and Jalen Kilgore wound up intercepting it, but he did create separation on his route, so he was good there. He has some build up speed to where he can get the chunk plays, but it's not. Doesn't have nothing special. I look at him. If he runs a 40, he'll probably be like low to mid 4.5. He's that type of speed. But I think he's definitely a draftable player.
Awesome.
And and Adam Randall. Adam Randall out of Clemson. I think he's a former wide receiver turned running back. And honestly, I like him as a receiver out of the backfield. A lot more than I like him as a runner. He looks like a guy that's still converting to running back. I don't think he has the natural running back instincts yet. He runs very upright. He's a taller player, so he runs very upright. So it makes him easier to hit. It takes away from the power that you can run with because he's a bigger guy, but he doesn't run with a whole lot of power because he doesn't have the type of leverage. He doesn't run behind his pads. But as a receiver out of the backfield, he looks really good. You can see he's a natural receiver, catches the ball with his hands, snatches the ball out of the air. So I think he has some upside as like a third down back starting off. And he's going to have to, like him as a running back, is going to be a work in progress. He's going to have to just get those natural running back instincts up to speed at the NFL level.
So who did you like better as a prospect, Tyrone Tracy or Adam Randall?
Tyrone Tracy. I think he had a little bit more quickness, and he's a smaller guy, so the natural leverage and the natural balance was there for him right from the rip. The thing about Adam Randall, he's just such a big guy, so it's gonna be harder for him to create that natural leverage and create that natural pad level. But I like the Tyrone Tracy a little bit better.
Okay. So, and I believe, if memory serves me correctly, Tracy went day 3, like round 5 or 6, like in that general range. So, okay. So, as you look at the running backs at the Senior Bowl, is one or two of those players graded significantly higher than the rest for you?
Jonah Coleman, I got him as a 2nd-round pick. Right after that, I got Katron Allen. I'm Nick Singleton. I've changed my views on Nick Singleton. I'm not looking at him as more of a every down type of running back because we know what type of athlete he is. We all know what type of athlete he is, but the vision concerns are real. So what he does do well is in the passing game as more of a third. So I'm looking at him as more of a souped up 3rd down running back. And when you look at him that way, you see more value with what he is when you change the role for him. So I got still, but mainly only 2nd-round grade I have is on is Jonah Coleman. The rest of them are more so 3rd round or later type of running backs.
Got it.
But I do like Mike Washington Jr. a lot. I think he's going to be. I may end up with a day 2 grade on him because I like the way he runs. But I'll once I get to my final rankings, we'll see where he ends up.
And any of the Senior Bowl guys or Shrine Bowl guys, like you say, you'd really like to see them be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Let's see. Well, like given what we got now, what the Eagles have now, I think they're good at running back. But just from my own selfish standpoint, I would love to see. I could see like a Mike Washington Jr. being a fit. I could see Damon Claiborne being a fit as a third down type of running back because the Eagles drafted Will Shipley, and to be that type of third down pass catching, smaller, shifty type of running back. I think Damon Claiborne is a little bit more explosive than Will Shipley, so I wouldn't mind seeing Damon Claiborne in the Eagles uniform as well.
Okay, so as you look at, let's say, the Senior Bowl rosters and what you would be wanting to see out of the running backs from the practices, is there anybody here where they have something to prove to you and you would move them up the board based upon what you learned from the Senior Bowl practices?
See, with these, it's going to be hard because it's always hard to judge running backs in this practice setting because they're not going to allow a whole lot of contact. So what I would probably like to see is like pretty much, I think they're going to do one-on-ones with these guys with linebackers, I believe. So I would like to see how they work in space. A guy like Rasul Faison from South Carolina, who I haven't looked at a whole lot of. We actually didn't do him on the podcast because he's like 1,000 years old, but I want to see what he can do like in the passing game and see how he moves. A guy like pretty much Damon Claiborne, I want to see him in one-on-ones. I want to see if you have the receiving chops to really make people miss in space. I want to see if what's his name? CJ Donaldson. I mean, he's a pure more power running back type of guy. I want to see if is he more than that? Can he be more than that? Can he make some guys miss? Is he shifty in space? But that's pretty much it. Pretty much like a guy like Roman Hemby. I want to see just more of the same. Can you keep it up with a different type of in a different type of offense with different type of players around you? Can you be that same guy? So that's pretty much what I'm looking for out of these running backs.
Nice. And is there? We've spent so much time in the Senior Bowl, but would any statements similar to that for any of the backs that have accepted Shrine invites so far? Is there something there if they do something, you might move them up a little bit?
Yeah. Tip train him. I would look. I mean, because he's a guy. He started off at Ohio State. He's a guy with some type of pedigree. If he can be, one of those solid sustaining running backs, because he's a guy. Pretty much all of these guys that I haven't laid eyes on yet. Guys like Chip Trainum and the kid from Navy, the South Alabama kid, Kentrell Bullock. These are guys I haven't had a whole lot of experience with. These are guys I haven't really had laid eyes on yet. So I'm looking for them to pretty much show me something. Let me see, show me who you are, show me what you can do. So a lot of these guys I'm looking at to see if they stand out amongst their peers. So, because everybody is there for a reason. So I want to see exactly, why you're here, what you're good at, and what you can do.
Okay, so this may be the fastest podcast ever. We just blew through about 15 running backs.
Yeah, I mean, running backs was a short list.
Well, and you had done the running backs for the scouting report, so that was how I scheduled all those. Why don't we pause for a moment? Why don't you tell everybody who you are, how they can find your other content? We'll do a quick Eagles mock draft, and then we will call it a day.
All right, works for me. Basically, I'm EJ Holt. You can catch me on X pretty much doing film breakdowns, player breakdowns, scheme breakdowns. I'm going to be I'm currently working on the Rogue Analytics draft guide. I'm doing running backs and I'm doing wide receivers. So I will be putting up a whole bunch of wide receiver tweets and what I think of these wide receiver classes. After that, I'll be doing running backs. But basically, what you get with me is pretty much same as last year. No hot takes, no rage bait, no clickbait. Pretty much just honest evaluation on what I see on the film. And again, I never say the word. Oh, and it's new for 2026. I'm never going to say generational, and I'm never going to say the word elite either, because everybody likes to call everybody elite. So I'm not going.
It's impossible. It's impossible to be an elite generational prospect.
Both at the same time? No.
Oh, love it. So my name's Jim. I am the one that created the Draft Professor mock draft simulator. And ultimately, we do a lot of mock drafts and we cover the draft every day. So we are live at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. every weeknight. We have group mock drafts every Friday. So if you want a mock draft for your team in a group mock, every Friday we get 32 people picking for 32 teams. We do the draft live on a podcast for 3 rounds. They are a lot of fun. They're also a little bit of work because the podcast lasts about 2.5 hours as opposed to about an hour. So feel free to check us out there. And to finish today's podcast, we are going to do a Philadelphia Eagles first round challenge. EJ is an Eagles fan. So we're going to do Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to do a first round challenge, and that's EJ's going to give us his 5 best round 1 picks for Philadelphia. So, EJ, what are you thinking Philadelphia will be looking at in round 1?
First and foremost, for me, I'm looking at offensive line. We've all seen the Eagles struggles on offense. I think they realize now that what their identity is they're a running football team, and you can't be a running football team without a high level offensive line, and that's the only thing that is the issue this year. We had the best offensive line in the league last year. This year, barely top 10, top 15 unit, and that's pretty much based on injury and some guys that are worn down. A lot of the guys had surgeries in the offseason and didn't come back all the way healthy. So that's been an issue. So I'm looking at offensive line first and foremost. And see, I got a plan for like Caden Proctor and Francis Malinoa. I would draft, if I was the Eagles, I would draft them in a heartbeat. I would play them for a year at right guard. And once Lane Johnson retires, because he's already said he's got like a year left or something like that. So once Lane Johnson retires, I would kick them outside to right tackle. Or if Vega Leone is on the board, I would take him. But that would be my plan, like Proctor, Malinoa, or Leone. I would take them. But Leone went and Malinoa went, so I got to go with Caden Proctor then.
Okay, so Caden Proctor is the pick. So the simulator immediately does a second mock draft, and it makes sure that Caden Proctor got sniped before your pick. So Proctor's off the board. What are you looking to do? And this one, Sadiq became available. He was not available before.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because Eagles do have a need at cornerback as well, but they also have a need at tight end because pretty much after this season, every tight end on their roster is an unrestricted free agent. So they're going to be either they're going to re-sign some guys or they just got to rebuild that entire position from scratch. It would be very nice to start your tight end position with Kenyon Sadiq. And it would, honestly, at this point in the draft, you're at 23. You kind of got to take him. That's just a value pick. So you got to take Kenyon Sadiq.
So you have Sadiq graded much higher than 23.
Yeah. I think he, like, as far as big boards go, I think he's more than the 23rd best player in the draft. But we know how the draft goes. Teams draft on need, and sometimes they don't fit or whatever. But on my board, I think he's better than the 23rd best player.
Okay, so the simulator does a third mock. It sniped Proctor and Sadiq before your Eagles pick. So Pregnon and Besantis, I don't know how high you have them graded. Some people have each of them going in round one.
Yeah. I see. And what does the cornerback room look like?
Hood, Terrell, Abney, Davis, Will Lee are all on the board.
Okay. All right. So what I would do is I would love to have Kevin Concepcion. I really like him. But the Eagles, I don't think they would draft. I mean, they don't got enough targets for their 2 wide receivers already. So how are they going to find targets for Kevin Concepcion?
So how high do you have Colton Hood graded? That's Ryan's suggestion.
Take Hood. Yeah. I think I started out with a 2 on Hood. I got to circle back on him and finalize my cornerback rankings. But all right, I'm gonna listen to Ryan and I'm gonna take Colton Hood.
Okay, so the simulator starts the 4th mock, and in the 4th mock, Proctor, Sadiq, and Hood get sniped. And Caleb, do you have a first on Caleb Tiernan?
No, don't have a first. Okay. Not yet. I don't have a first on Caleb Tiernan. Who else is it?
So if Proctor, Sadiq, and Hood are off the board, Ione went the pick before you. And then Lomu's off the board and Fano's off the board.
Off the board. What does edge look like?
TJ Parker, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, R. Mason Thomas, Romello Height, all there.
All right, so I'm picking between TJ Parker and Cassius Howell. I'm gonna go Cassius Howell. The Eagles do have a need at defensive end or edge rusher as well, because Jalen Phillips is an unrestricted. They traded a 3 for Jalen Phillips, but he's an unrestricted free agent, and then that just leaves you Jalix Hunt and I forget the other guy from Georgia on the other end. But yeah, Fangio likes his three in rotation. He likes to rotate 3 guys there. So if they don't bring back Jalen Phillips, then they'll leave a hole there. So I'll go Cassius Howell. Oh no, and this is the new.
Yep. It immediately starts the 5th mock when you finish the one before it. Proctor, Sadiq, Hood, and Howell are off the board. Ione dropped. We hadn't seen McCoy available, and Jordan Tyson dropped.
See, so I had a plan with this. I was gonna, because my ultimate plan was get Vega Leon to drop. And so, pick everybody but him, and eventually by the last one he should drop, which he did. But the AI threw me a curveball because Jordan Tyson is on the board, and Jordan Tyson and Jeremiah McCoy are on the board. So how do I pass them up? But yeah, I'm gonna go Vega Leon because I plan for having him. I think he's a perfect fit at right guard. Perfect fit at right guard. He's a big mauling people mover on the offensive line, and that's exactly what we need.
So for the Eagles, you like Proctor, Sadiq, Hood, Howell, or Ione?
Yep.
Okay.
I could take
and
that.
If Lomu or Fano drop, do you think the Eagles would take them?
Oh yeah, I think they would. Like, they're a fan of. I think they like. Which one is the Lomu is the right tackle, right? I think they like.
Fano's the right tackle. Lomu is the left tackle.
Okay, Fano. I think they would like Fano a little bit more because they like their dancing bears, so to speak. They like the guys with the good footwork that are easy movers. So I think they would have Fano ahead of Lomu, but I think they would have interest in both guys, though.
Okay. Well, we are going to get back to the college football playoffs. So for EJ, myself, and the 110 people at the Draft Professor, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on a podcast again tomorrow.